Yeah.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. You're here with Emil and a few other people who would like to stand up for democracy. We're going to be going over the Epstein case and try to figure out, is it worth pursuing and the bads and goods of it. So let's go ahead and get started. Before we start that, I would like to at least look at Trump with the dismantling of the education department. It's a real quick short, and I just feel like it is necessary that we still keep that in our forefront, that he is trying to support the Department of Education.
And the Supreme Court ruled that the Trump administration can dismantle the Department of Education. Right after the ruling, employees were notified that they would be let go on August 1st. On social media, President Trump said this is a victory for parents and students. He said states will now take over the department's duties.
Consumers are on the move, and it's your job to keep up.
All right, what y'all think about that little tad bit about him getting rid of the Department of Education?
I think it's a two-edged sword. All right. The reason I'm saying this is because I find that the school system is a pipeline. So if he's getting rid of that to replace it with something that serves children better, fine. But if he's getting rid of it and not putting something better in place, then I see a problem.
So he doesn't have a plan. He plans on having the states take over. And if you think about Alabama and Mississippi and those like Arizona that tend to be on the bottom half or the bottom 10, I mean, it's like less resources for the schools.
Yes, the Department of Education has just been there to give more money to the states in order to educate their children. And if you have less money going into the education, you have less money going into the education of your children. And state by state, they don't invest equally. So the poor states are not going to invest in education.
Okay.
Poor states are going to suffer.
Yes.
Okay, so that's the only little piece that we're going to talk about the education department. I just felt that was necessary for everyone to know what's going on because that's new information. That video was dropped today, and he's basically saying August 1st is when they're actually going to be dismantling and get rid of those employees. Let's go ahead and continue on. This next video is something that took place in '92 where Trump makes a lewd comment about young girls. Let's go ahead and check it out.
Okay, you start and I'm ready.
In the wake of questions and allegations about Donald Trump's behavior towards women, ET discovered this footage in our archive, which we provided to CBS News.
Soon. Thursday night. You're going up the escalator? I'm going to be dating her in 10 years. Can you believe it? Okay.
Done.
All right. What's going on with that? How y'all feel about him saying that he's going to be dating a young girl who looks like she's clearly 12 or 13 going up an escalator?
Who leers at little girls? That doesn't make any sense.
I mean, apparently he does. He was over there. Someone called that grooming. But I guess when it's a rich guy, it's not called grooming. It's just called jokes. I guess that's the new standard. You got to have a lot of money, and then it's a joke. Hey, what did that guy say about Elon Musk? He said, if you have enough money, a Hail Hitler sign is this a how you doing? You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
A bald head is just a part. You got enough money.
Yeah, apparently money makes what you say be perceived differently, because a man who has a lot of money who says what he just says is trying to groom somebody and has the money to do it, and it has a position to do it.
Money changes the dynamic.
Very much. So this next video is Trump pushing back on Epstein question during his cabinet meeting. This took place sometime like last week, I believe.
Your memo and release yesterday on Jeffrey Epstein, it left some lingering mysteries. One of the biggest ones is whether he ever worked for a American or foreign intelligence agency. The former labor secretary, who was Miami U.S. Attorney Alex Costa, he allegedly said that he did work for an intelligence agency. So could you resolve whether or not he did? And also, could you say why there was a minute missing from the jailhouse tape on the night of the step?
Yeah, sure. If
Could I just interrupt for 1 second? Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein? This guy's been talked about for years. You're asking, we have Texas, we have this, we have all of the things. And are people still talking about this guy, this creep? That is unbelievable. Do you want to waste the time, and do you feel like answering?
I don't mind answering.
I mean, I can't believe you're asking a question on Epstein at a time.
They hit a nerve. They asked about something that he really doesn't want to talk about. He's scared to even think about. He knows it's something that this is all over.
You say that he hit a nerve, huh? After that, he was like, "Hey, man, we gotta stop this before it continue."
Right. You know, this. It I don't care what I say, but I just got to try to stop what y'all hearing.
Okay.
Like this, where we're having some of the greatest success and also tragedy with what happened in Texas. It just seems like a desecration, but you go ahead.
Sure. First, to back up on that, in February, I did an interview on Fox, and it's been getting a lot of attention because I said that I was asked a question about the client list, and my response was, it's sitting on my desk to be reviewed, meaning the file along with the JFK, MLK file.
If I say something louder and clearer, it's more truthful. So just because I'm repeating myself and enunciating, it makes more sense and it's truthful. Believe me.
Believe me, I didn't sleep with her. I you know what I mean? Men would use that if that really worked.
Yeah, she really doesn't
She
she doesn't emanate a lot of truthfulness.
Yeah. You remember when Trump University was going on, I believe she was the prosecutor that let it go.
Absolutely. She was the prosecutor in Florida that was paid $25,000 by Donald Trump and then stopped prosecuting the Trump University for all of its illegal activity. It just dropped by the wayside. And next thing you know, she is the Attorney General of the United States for Donald Trump. That doesn't smell right.
Understood?
Stinks.
As well. That's what I meant by that. Also, to the tens of thousands of video, they turned out to be child porn downloaded by that disgusting Jeffrey Epstein. Child porn is what they were. Never going to be released, never going to see the light of day. To him being an agent, I have no knowledge about that. We can get back to you on that. And the minute missing from the video, we released the video showing definitively the video was not conclusive, but the evidence prior to it was showing he committed suicide. And what was on that, there was a minute that was off the counter. And what we learned from Bureau of Prisons was every year, every night, they redo that video. It's old, from like 1999. So every night the video is reset, and every night should have the same minute missing. So we're looking for that video to release that as well, showing that a minute is missing every night. And that's it on Epstein.
If you have a 700 plus credit score,
I don't think she was ever caught as a teenager doing something wrong. Because when you start lying as a teenager, you realize you can't lie anymore. You have to stop the lies. And she doesn't lie well, and she just jumped straight into a lie, into another lie, into another lie. She is denying that this guy Epstein was ever in jail and died almost. And 2.5 minutes are on a piece of video that's not manipulated, it's raw footage. I believe you.
All right, right. So what I'm saying is every time it seems like the admin talk, it seems like they lie and they play in our face. And I'm not saying that Biden administration didn't lie to us or hide things or whatever, but I find it kind of funny how whenever they said something, everyone was second guessing and tried to fire them and call them all kind of names. But yet and still, this man, he could lie to us in our face, and we know it's a lie, and we're supposed to just eat it like it's a nice pie. So this is very interesting, for the most part. Any other words about this before we jump into one of Epstein's victims? No. All right. So I feel like it's very important to understand why this is important, because we all have kids on this line. And because we have kids, we have to think about if that was our little girl or our little boy that was molested, raped, or anything of that nature. And we have to keep that in our minds that we're fighting not for the people that it did occur to, but the future people, because what happens is when a court case is handled, it then sets a precedent on what's going to be taking place years after. So your kids might only be 2 to 5, but they might come into a position of someone with that much power. And if somebody can go to a whole island and have their sexcapades with 12-year-olds, this is something that's very evil in nature. Let's just call it what it is. It's evil. And let's go ahead and check out Kiki Doe, and she explains her experience on Epstein Island. Well, I'm gonna say this. She's 19, and if she was a virgin or not, we don't know, but we're not here to discuss that. It doesn't matter if she was. So it's not a child that he did it to. And they should be laws to protect someone after a certain amount of years if they did do some kind of trespassing of nature, just because you don't want people to blackmail other people for years among years. Because if he took the cookie wrongfully, he should not be prosecuted 20 years later. And the only reason I say that is because after a while, the perpetrator could become the victim in a blackmail type of setting. At the same time, when we talk about someone being 19, their 19-year-old is too easy for them to want someone who's 17 or 16, and then that goes into the line where it don't matter how long it's been. If you are, let's say if the person was 19 or 20 years of age and they are around each other, they went to high school with each other, that type deal, and it's a 14-year-old and 20-year-old, that's a different scenario. Then I feel that at a certain point in time, there needs to be a point of time where the blackmail cannot happen. And I just say that because, you can imagine someone doing something wrong. And if there's never a time limit, 30 years from now, someone could be coming to you about something you did at 16 and you don't remember everything, but who knows? So that's the only thing I have to say about her age. But if she was 17 years of age, it should matter how long it's been. And I don't know how y'all feel about that. That's just how I feel about the statute of limitation of time.
There might be a statute of limitation on that, but the fact that it's such a large age differential, the fact that you're not dealing with a 19-year-old and a 25-year-old, you're dealing with somebody who's twice her age, and he is totally manipulating this person and taking total advantage of them, putting them into a situation where they can't say no. They have to say yes in order for them to make it through their day. and he just has taken advantage, has done everything to take this girl's mind, put her in a situation where she's unfamiliar, took her away from her friends, made her look like she's nothing. Basically, he treats her just like a hoe. You know, he's pimp. He pimped her. He's a pimp. And he says, okay, now I'm going to take you and I'm going to make sure that you are worthy for the street. And he's going to have her get her first experience. And he's going to make sure she does it right. And she doesn't know what she's doing until after she does it. And that is terrible. And you're right. She should have been old enough to understand if she was 19. But there's a special place for people who are that much older than other people, that they really, really respect them more than what they should. Even though she was 19, she over-respected this guy. And he took a total advantage of it. There's no place he should be found not guilty of anything.
Okay. Let's go ahead and finish off the video. All right.
She's really reliving the events of that time. And it really is something you never get over. It's affected her whole life. And she might be getting better, but she hasn't gotten over it. She just can't ever get over it.
Yeah. You can definitely tell that she was reliving it. It's kind of like she reopened the scar by looking at the place. I have to say, like, when it comes down to it, you know, I can't defend wrong. I don't feel like defending wrong. So, but I am going to play devil's advocate, just because we have to look at the other side and opposition, as far as instead of just looking at it one-sidedly. She had the opportunity to be in a presence of somebody that had a lot of money, and with the ideal of becoming a star, and she could have taken that and went past what she thought was morally good for her and put herself in that position because of the ideal of being a part of the rich group or the models that made it. And this is something that a lot of people do in real life, where they go to California and they get taken advantage of and they wonder why it happened. My whole thing is, if you deal with people who want to become rich so bad, they might sell out their mother. And that is something that happens regularly. And you see people, like, let's say that we were from Haiti and somebody gave us a bunch of money to oppress Haiti. That's stuff that does happen in real life, where I believe it was at one point they had somebody in there that was making a difference in the American population, as far as the government gave them funds of money in order to kill or assassinate their leader. And I say that saying that we cannot live for only money, because if we only live for money, we will do things that we regret, because normally the people who have all the money used to have slaves. Those people who own those slaves and then turned their money into railroad money, and then had that backing of, you know, the houses that look like the White House. I believe there was a kind of the White Castle that was burnt down in Louisiana that a lot of people had mixed feelings about. It was an incident that happened where the house, a slave house that went up in flames, and the black population, so even some of the black population was mad about it, because they was thinking about the money that the people lost as opposed to the what it represents. And that's when I'm saying, when it comes down to it, just because we have people that share our reflection does not mean they share our mind state as far as our true brotherhood. They rather share the mind state of the people that oppressed them back then and say, it happened so long ago, you shouldn't care about it. It doesn't matter. Why even talking about that? Not even thinking about the fact that in 1960s, that we still had the color stuff going on. Where what was the water fountain non-colorized? Was no more segregation.
The segregate. You're talking about Jim Crow era. Where
yes, I'm saying when we be able to drink from the same water fountain? What year was that?
I'm not quite sure what year exactly, but it was in the early 60s where it didn't seem like it made that much of a difference in Washington, D.C. It really depended on where you were, I think, how far you were down south, because there's some places now where there's sundown towns where you can't even go into town as a black person after 5 o'clock in the evening and feel safe. So, you know, there are some, you know, yeah, the things have changed. They say you can drink at the fountain. They say you get the right treatment from the same doctors and the same professionals, but it really depends on the professional and depends on the society of the town.
Yeah, the last thing you want to do is become an experiment and you don't know your experiment, which that did happen and take place where they might give you syphilis and see how you react. You think you're just getting a flu shot and they're infecting you.
Right.
Let's go ahead and we're going to look at Kash Patel on his belief in 2013. Kash Patel, his belief on 2013, dealing with Epstein's list.
So are you, like, in closing here, I want to just be very clear. Republicans could get Epstein's list out now? Like, how would that process work?
Simple. One subpoena to the FBI. Give me the list. Oh, you don't want to give me the list and you're going to break the law and commit contempt of Congress? We're going to take your money. We're going to take Chris Wray's private jet. Taxpayer-funded G5 rides across the country to his Appalachian State vacation home, down to Georgia, and all over the rest of the place. That guy doesn't need a G5 government-funded jet. And the second you take that money, you get Epstein's list.
Here's the problem, Cash, is that they shut down the Lolita Express. So how are these guys going to fly on a private jet anymore? It's really a quandary, my friend.
Oh, man. I love it.
2, please. Make that 3.
All right. So let's remember that. Let's remember that's what he said.
Yes.
In 2013, he was basically stating that it's so easy for the FBI director to just see it, and who became the FBI director and now is like mum's the word. What file?
His name isn't Epstein. His name is Kash Patel, who became FBI director and is stuttering about what you're going to do with Epstein files.
Yeah. So this next video we're going to be looking at and track. It's going to be a tracking of every visitor that went to Epstein's island. And the reason why this is important is because if they went to the island, they could have had unconsensual relations with underage people. And I say it like that because underage person cannot consent. At the same time, just because you're on the island does not mean that you did anything. All that means is that you had the opportunity and you basically took advantage of what was going on. So, all right.
Even if she's not at work, she's on Get Your Guide, planning for her.
You know, that's one thing we're not gonna do. Let's wait for this advertisement to go away. Yeah. So while that is going on, what y'all think about this island? Does it seem like an island that good things happen, or it seemed like an island where anybody can do anything?
It seemed like an amusement park for rich people, and anything could happen, and you had to have a ticket to get in, and the right person to take you through the experience, because all the people from Michigan and New York and Florida, these folk have something to hide because they went to this island. It's a lot of stuff.
All right. It seemed like an amusement park for them, right?
Absolutely.
Identifying origin cities in Australia, the
country. So there's a lot of stuff there that to open that would unearth a lot of things that they don't want people to know. So no, that's not gonna happen. I don't see it happening.
Yeah, I don't see it happening neither. All right.
That's the video of the pipe bomber on day. You know, he needs.
You say it's got to happen, huh?
It has reached a certain level of insanity that is all through the, you know, the conversation about politics. It's all through the president's mouth. It directly implicates the president and his personal friends. It's going to have to come out one way or another. It will not be held back.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and finish out this last minute on this one.
The pipe bomber on day. You know, he need one of the reforms I talk about in government gangsters is you need a central node to be continuously declassifying. This is another thing they do. They overclassify. And I'm telling you, as a former number 2 in the IC, they overclassify 50% of the stuff there to protect the deep state. Oh no, you can't.
And, hey, I don't want to spend no time like that, bro. What you got? And that's kind of like what I'm saying about that blackmailing thing, where it's like it's like a very complex thing, because like if you see how a lot of young women are built nowadays, some of them only 15, but they look like they're 22.
Absolutely.
And they get fake IDs.
Facts.
And they're able to get in places that they're not supposed to, because as boys, even if we have a fake ID, if we don't look the part, they're going to say something. But as young ladies, they come in and they might pay a little extra cost to be in to not show the ID because your aunt is with you. And your aunt is then showing you the ropes on how to do things. And one case I have to say is like Akon. Do you remember when Akon was on stage dancing with an underage girl?
Yeah.
He even had a whole song, I'm Sorry.
I'm sorry.
And, I was a good hit song too. And the reason why I mention that is because you're supposed to be grown. Like, what are you doing here? Like, you jump on stage in a 21 and up place. How am I supposed to know you're only 14? You know, and I'm performing.
Not that she was hiding. Not that she was like, you know what? I don't want to be caught here. All right. I want to enjoy myself, but I don't want to be caught. She wasn't hiding.
Yeah. And because she wasn't hiding and she was out in the front, he's just treated her like any other 20-plus-year-old person. And now he got these charges and this potential. And believe it or not, you know what I'm saying? There's a lot of things my brother can do, but one thing my brother can't do is have sex with underage people and me feel cool and okay about it. And I say it like that, like if any of my brothers or sisters were taking advantage of grown people, I'm gonna shut up. But you're not gonna do that to a 15-year-old and me know about it. That's something you better keep to yourself. You better die with that, bro. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know how y'all feel about that. Y'all can go ahead and chime in before I start the next one.
Well, ever since the original FBI director, Hoover, the FBI has stood up on the thing of bribing people and extorting people into doing things because they have information. That's what they tried to do with Martin Luther King and other leaders around the civil rights era in the early 40s and 50s and 60s. But also, this stuff is so horrendous. If you are involved with anything involved with children, it needs to be exposed. And this needs to be exposed. And it just makes me sick that these people are in power and they're saying, you know what? As soon as the FBI, as soon as Trump gets in power, he needs to expose this. And then because he's a part of it, he doesn't expose it. So they don't point out the fact that the powerful are hiding the facts about the people who need to be punished. And that's what we need to have happen here. The people around Jeffrey Epstein need to be exposed and punished.
They're always going to keep quiet on these things, though, because it's the powerful ones who enjoy that type of excitement and debauchery. That's their thing. All right. So to say, oh, they're going to be punished or they need to be punished, they do. But once they control the narrative, all right, how are you punishing them?
Yeah.
And that's a challenge that ever since Russia came in and stopped Hillary Clinton from becoming president, the investigation into that has been removed from our attention because the criminal who won is in power and has all the levers of the Justice Department to hide this. And so that's why he can get out here and say all this stuff now. He's a criminal.
Of course.
Yeah. And so we need to stop just accepting the fact that a criminal says you shouldn't look into something. We need to have the other 500 or so politicians on the federal side, the Senate and the Congress, stand up and say we need to at least look into it. We need to talk about it. This is going to have to be exposed. It's got to be.
All right. Let's go ahead and we all know about Indisputable. My boy, I love him. He's great. And
Dr.
he's
Richie.
Dr.
Richie.
Yeah. He's great when it comes down to really putting the dog's nose in that boo-boo. And let's go ahead and take a listen.
Goes viral showing Trump's history with Epstein. Here it is.
Charges that Jeffrey Epstein was running a sex trafficking ring in the early 2000s that included underage girls as young as 14 years old.
Donald Trump in 2002 said of Epstein, he's a lot of fun to be with. It's even said that he likes beautiful women as much as I do, and many of them are on the younger side.
He routinely spoke fawningly of Jeffrey.
You were playing tennis and you came off the court. Quote, look at that piece of I would love some of that. It so happened that Trump was referring to Cohen's then 15-year-old daughter, Samantha.
I had the impression that he was interested in younger women and that, women would age out for him.
Miss Teen Universe? Yeah, that's like giving Jeffrey Dahmer a cooking show.
I'll go backstage before a show, and everyone's getting dressed and ready and everything else. And I'm allowed to go in because I'm the owner of the pageant, and therefore I'm inspecting it. I stand there with notes left.
Donald Trump is heard making questionable comments about a young girl.
You're going up the escalator? I'm going to be dating her in 10 years.
A lawsuit against the presumptive GOP nominee alleges he raped a girl when she was 13 years old.
Let's talk about timeshare and maintenance fees.
Zay, what you say? Did somebody say what? Okay.
I didn't say what. I was aware of all those things that were said on that last piece of video.
Yeah, let me. I'm gonna rewind it just for a few seconds because that needs to be heard again.
I stand there with notes left.
Donald Trump is heard making questionable comments about a young girl.
You're going up the escalator? I'm going to be dating her in 10 years.
A lawsuit against the presumptive GOP nominee alleges he raped a girl when she was 13 years old.
From day one, I said Donald Trump is not in the business of protecting other people. He's in the business of protecting himself. Now, if protecting himself happens to also, by proxy, protect other people, so be it. Donald Trump is not releasing these files because he's in them. He's in them in a considerable way. So what he's doing now is he's hoping to change the focus by either A, making you not pay attention to the Epstein files any longer, or B, disrupting the credibility of the files themselves, saying that, well, the files were created by Obama and by Comey and Biden. So we went from the files containing Democrats in them to now the files being written by those very same Democrats. Thus, they must have no credibility. You're damn right he's in the files.
All right.
He's in the files. That's why he wants to call it fake news. And that's what the cry is going to be from here on. Obama, Obama, Obama. fake news, fake news. Comey, his daughter, Comey all over this. It's fake news. And people are lining up on his side that and saying that because he has that much power over them. We need to fight it.
Yeah, my main thing is I think he didn't know how much dirt was on him until he was president. And then once he realized that, they know about me saying that? Oh, they know about that girl? Hey man, we can't talk about this. Hey man, hey, do what you gotta do, did it. And because like when he became president 2016 to 2020, they kind of talked about it, but they ain't really talk about it like we're gonna expose it like before he became president. You can't get my whole thing is in America we say you should not have to incriminate yourself as far as your own words by pleading the fifth. In my mind, this is him saying, I plead the fifth.
Well, actually, it's him saying something and then getting it. He was saying, if I'm become president, I'm gonna show you all this stuff about this Epstein file, and it happened to be one of the promises he made in order to become president, and he never thought that he would have to follow through on that promise because he wasn't expecting to become president. And so now he has to, he caught the car, and now he has to do something with it, and he's not ready to do anything with it. And so that's his problem. He was.
I'm pretty sure that the election was rigged in 2024 because it wasn't. He wouldn't have done his best to dismantle the government services. If he felt like he wanted fair and square. It's like, let me disrupt, because you remember, like, soon as he got in, he essentially fired anybody who had any kind of honor and integrity for the Constitution. And he basically said, hey, look, man, I'm gonna wreck all this. And in business that might work, but I don't think it works for government. What you about to say? Go ahead.
Yeah, I believe that whether or not he had whether or not it was rigged, he would have still done just what he did, and that is to remove those people from government. All right. Looking back at Project 25 and what it entails to be an autocracy, all right, he is moving in that line, all right, along those same lines. Like, hey, this is what Project 25 is about, all right. This is what we're doing. This is the first step. This is step one, all right. In terms of in terms of moving away from a democracy into an autocracy, all right, this is what it's going to look like. This is how we're going to do it. So, step one, phase one, get rid of anyone who is going to oppose the actions henceforth. Get rid of anyone who is going to create hindrance. And so that's just the start of it.
I agree. Right. I agree that the election was rigged, and it does or doesn't matter. And I agree that the president currently is moving into the space of being the dictator that he always wanted to be, and that doesn't matter. What's going on here in this case is this Epstein information is out on a man, and if a man cannot stand up and protect his reputation behind defending himself in court against facts about really what happened in his past, he needs to be convicted of something, or his reputation needs to be impeached, even if it's beyond the statute of limitation. So I just believe that this information needs to come out on this man, and it's going to change the reputation so that we have a better chance of making better decisions about him on a current day basis, because people don't understand this, and so they think he's still a good guy. My God, it's the worst criminal we've ever had as president.
Yeah, I agree with you. He is the worst criminal. The only thing is he came in with felonies, so what can we really expect? You can't even work at McDonald's with his record.
Absolutely. You couldn't even work in education. You couldn't work as a administrator in many places. Your integrity is gone. 34, the type of felonies he has. My God.
All right, so just let y'all know in the backdrop, what we have here is emillions.org. It is the mandate studies where we actually went over the Project 2025, every chapter, every word. Yes, I went over it, and there were a bunch of other people that went over it with me. And if you want to learn more about that, just go ahead and go there. And essentially, Project 2025 is something that is like the playbook for the Republicans. The first person to really push it as a president was Ronald Reagan. If anybody's old enough to remember Ronald Reagan and know what he's done, you know that the reason why the middle class is in shambles now is because of Ronald Reagan. And this is a continuation of it. There's still stuff that we cannot take advantage of as far as the student loan opportunities that used to be happening in the 80s that Carter tried to implement, that Carter was blocked. Again, with our executive orders that we do for democracy, when we get to Carter's time, we will go into greater detail. Currently, right now, we have done President 1 through 24. Also, we've done Biden's, and we've done up current 2025 Trump. We will be going over shortly. I believe that we're going to be going back into more of the future for the next couple episodes, talking about Obama in Trump's last the term before on those executive orders, meaning there's going to be more detail, because if anybody who tries to look at the executive orders before 1947, you're not going to have a lot of success being able to pinpoint every exact executive order. It's not archived correctly. So because it's not archived correctly, all we can do is talk about the nature of their executive orders, what they were dealing with, and how some of what they did still affects today. We cannot go into greater detail as far as he said this on this day and this happened because of this. We can't do that, but we can at least know the nature of. But let's get back to this Project 2025. When we talk about Project 2025, if you go to eMillions, we go through 900 pages, and we also talk about the authors, the standards, diagnosing the reforms that they suggested, and having a deep understanding of how the taxpayers are being affected. And it is basically talking about the deep right. We also know that a lot of these people lack credibility, but at the same time, we have to figure it out. If you want to sign up for our news listing, you can easily sign up. There are a few places on emillions.org where you can sign up for it, where we have analyzed the White House, the POTUS role in the executive order, the managing the government bureaucracy, which is they say the government, what they call it, bulk or fat. And what's crazy is, I'm sorry to get on a tad bit on this, but a tangent, but I have to say this. White women actually thought they weren't minorities. And because they did not think they were minorities, they voted against their best interest. And many of them on the way out said, but I'm white. No, you are the first minority that any company is willing to hire. A white woman is the easiest person to hire because you get the perks of dealing with the diversity, inclusion, and equity inclusion. I said it wrong in order, but all of it was there. Some more things that the Project 2025 goes over will be the DOD, Homeland Security, Department of State, intel community, media, how they treat both abroad in USA, international development agencies. They also go over the Department of Agriculture, of course, the Department of Education, which will be completely dismantled if they have their way August 1st, which is sad because it's going to be a lot of people that's going to be missing out on their education.
Absolutely.
Then we talk about the Department of Energy, EPA, HHS, HUD, the Department of Interior, DOJ, Department of Labor, Department of Transportation, Department of VA. Then we talk about the Department of Commerce, Department of Treasury, Export, Import, the IXM, the Federal Reserve, the SBA, Trade, Financial Regulatory Agencies, FCC, the FEC, the FCC, and there are other things that were analyzed when it comes to the thought process. There is a real big thought process of the onward, and with the onward, it is basically them the ability to say, this is now, you have the baton, make it happen. And I'm stating this because if anybody can get this book, and this is not a dog whistle, this is a full horn. That's what this is. And we got to combat this. I really appreciate you mentioning that. Let's go ahead and get back to it. Anybody got anything else to say about Project 2025 or anything else before we continue?
Military community.
All right. Let's go ahead and continue on.
If he's not in the files, that would mean that an individual who we know has absolutely no impulse control, does not believe in boundaries, has violated every restriction that law and constitution has placed on him, somehow had boundaries behind the scenes, somehow found moral clarity with an immoral human being, somehow was his best self among the worst human beings on the planet. I don't buy it. And neither do you. Let's go to it.
All right. What you say?
And now he's stealing trophies from the FIFA World Cup. Gold trophies, individual trophies, he's putting them in his pocket, and he's treating everything that is everybody else's as his. He has no control over his kleptomania. He's a thief also.
Yeah, you say he's a thief. I mean, you know, them Trump coins, you know, he made a lot of money with them Trump coins. And he did that day one. And even just making money on the name of you being the president used to be something they shunned. You know, you wasn't supposed to be able to make money with your name because that means that when you're office, everybody and their mama's going to bend over backwards for you because you are the president of the United States. Everyone in the world is scared of you because if I piss you off, I piss off the government. Therefore, I need to, I'm compelled. I'm compelled to do whatever you want. And that's the reason why he became president, so he didn't have to go to prison.
It's
That's
illegal.
crazy.
It's illegal how much money he's made. He's made more than half of his wealth since he's become president the second time through those crypto coins. And the way he's doing it is no kind of transparency to it. And so it's really stealing in plain sight.
All right, let's go ahead and continue on.
Have you guys seen the Trump coins? Have you seen? I mean, I know you're talking about. Have you seen it though?
No, I've not seen it.
Yeah, I saw them. It's a few different ones. I've seen them.
Are you talking
You
about
buy one?
No, not the crypto coin, not the crypto coins, like actual Trump coins. Yeah, like those.
Yeah. I've not seen those.
None.
Yeah.
Not at all.
Yeah, I've seen them physically.
Do they cash like regular money?
They probably plated.
They're collector's items.
They're just
you can't
they're not really coins.
No.
Oh, they're trinkets.
Yeah, it's like the kind of stuff you find at the You know how you get the funny money when you're a kid playing that with the funny machines at the amusement park?
Yeah,
that's what it is. That's exactly what
The
it is.
belief is that in the future you can, like, just like if you're a coin collector, right, where you can actually your coin is
Why
going to
does he
gain
look
value
like a
over
toad
time.
here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he looks serious.
Hold on, I gotta save that image. He looks. I'll talk about it, like the face is bloated here. That's what I'm saying. Like, let me not say
that's why he looks that way.
I try to refuse to talk bad about someone's image because I feel like
it's an upgrade from what he looks. The reason he's brown is because it's an upgrade from white. The reason he looks with all those funny stuff, it's an upgrade from his pale, indescribable color. So,
but let's move on. Let's try to
he's not orange, he's white.
Yeah, let's try not to talk about the man's features, because that's something that that to me, whenever you start talking about someone's features, it's like you have your argument has no credibility anymore, because now you're just cracking jokes and it's not talking about what the person's done. Yeah. So let's go ahead and talk about
what he's done is more important than what he
so let's get back to it.
After coming off the heels of this claim that President Barack Obama, James Comey, Biden were behind the Jeffrey Epstein files craze, Trump, in a stunning Truth Social post Wednesday, branded the Jeffrey Epstein story, which has been perpetrated by the highest ranking members of the Justice Department for years, as a hoax. He's now saying it's a hoax, a scam, etc. Quote, scams and hoaxes are all the Democrats are good at. It's all they have. They are no good at governing, no good at policy, no good at picking winning candidates, Trump said. He added, quote, their new scam is what we will forever call the Jeffrey Epstein hoax. And my past supporters have bought into this BS hook, line, and sinker. They haven't learned their lesson and probably never will, even after being conned by the lunatic left for 8 long years.
Producers, this plug.
Commercials. Hold on. Yeah, let's give it a second. I gotta let this commercial run. And as soon as it hits the proper amount of time. All right, there you go.
You know, so last week when I said that at some point they're going to say Jeffrey Epstein was a hoax, I was actually joking. Not to realize that a few days later, literally, they will be calling the whole thing a hoax. We're in the twilight zone. The president made clear he no longer wants the support of those who remain interested in the Epstein investigation. Quote, I have had more success in 6 months than perhaps any president in our country's history. Oh, God. And all these people want to talk about the strong prodding by the fake news and the success-starved Dems. It's the Jeffrey Epstein hoax, Trump said. Quote, let these weaklings continue forward and do the Democrats' work. I don't even think about talking of our incredible, unprecedented success because I don't want their support anymore. I mean, Trump, this is a little bit extreme for a difference of opinion here, sir. If it's only a difference of opinion and not something more like perhaps you're in the Epstein files yourself. If it's just a difference of opinion, why be so heavy-handed? Trump also continued this narrative during an interview. Here it is.
And Jim. Mr. President, I know you've urged people to move on, but I'm curious, why do you think your supporters in particular have been so interested in the Epstein story and so upset about how it's been handled?
I don't understand it. Why they would be so interested. He's dead for a long time. He was never a big factor in terms of life. I don't understand what the interest or what the fascination is. I really don't. But I don't understand why the Jeffrey Epstein case would be of interest to anybody. It's pretty boring stuff. It's sordid, but it's boring. And I don't understand why it keeps going. I think really only pretty bad people, including fake news, want to keep something like that going.
No, I think bad people don't want it to continue being investigated. The comments from Trump come amid a raft of public criticism from prominent MAGA influencers over his handling of Epstein, and even public polling showing broad dissatisfaction among his base. A new CNN poll shows that 3% of the public, 4% of Republicans are satisfied with the amount of information the government has put out about the Epstein case. Those are historically low numbers for trust in the government on any level. What is this about? Well, is Trump in the Epstein files? Of course he is. Come on. Of course he is. When the Epstein files were about Democrats being part of an illegal prostitution ring that dealt with children, all of MAGA, and hopefully every single decent human being would say, we want that to be exposed, regardless of their political affiliation. I am still of the mindset that I want the list to be exposed, regardless of the political affiliation that it is connected to. So is Trump in them? Yes. But you see, others are too. Others are too. This is not just about protecting people. This is about protecting institutions, protecting possibly intelligence agencies, protecting by proxy what they have done or who they have been in cahoots with. Because if it is true, it means that multiple factions of not only this government, but possibly other governments have been involved in the trafficking of minors. That's what that would mean if true. Now, Trump likely wouldn't care about that, but he would care about himself. There's more. Put him up full mass. And despite Republicans voting down a measure that asks for the release of the Epstein files, House Speaker Mike Johnson says he favors.
Oh man, did y'all see the vote that took place? I think was it the Senate that took that vote like late night or whatever, or Congress, one of them two groups, like probably like 4 or 5 days ago, and it happened like past midnight. They voted and they do this stuff at night to hide it. They don't do this stuff during the day. They don't do this evil stuff when people are up to be able to comment. They do it when people are between 11 p.m. to 2 a.m. They did it with the big, beautiful bill. And then they did it when it comes to this Epstein vote. Instead of them having it where somebody like you and me could go to work the next day and be able to see it fresh, brand new, because it's a regular day, they do it when you're supposed to be asleep. And what happened was somebody mentioned, I think it was even a Republican person mentioned it. And it was like a 7-5 ruling where 7 of the people, all of them being Republican. Remember, Republicans have more seats in any government faction right now. They have more seats. They have more power. So whatever they really want to happen, if they wanted to see Epstein files, they can see it. So basically, long story short, the head person basically say, hey, let's do one person say, hey, let's go ahead and get everyone to verbally say it one by one. And I just say that people should go back and look at those representatives that voted to not show it and understand that we're not dealing with honest people.
Right.
All right. I'm done with my soapbox. Anybody else got anything to say about that vote that took place about the Epstein files?
Yeah, that vote allowed them to at least have a vote to see if they were going to discuss it. And they decided not to discuss it. And it's ridiculous that these people can have such a big issue, talk about it, but not make any real decisions about it and just sweep it under the rug when it pertains to the president like it does. His best friend was this guy Epstein. Ridiculous.
All right.
First, the release of the Epstein files. Reagan used to tell us we should trust the American people. This is a quote. And I believe in that principle. I know President Trump does as well, and I trust him. Answer the speaker. Quote, I mean, he put together a team of his choosing, and they're doing a great job. It's a very delicate subject, but we should put everything out there and let the people decide. I mean, the White House and the White House team are privy to the facts that I don't know. I mean, this isn't my lane. I haven't been involved in that, but I agree with the sentiment that we need to put it out there.
Yeah, did somebody say what?
Is that Mike Johnson saying he's going to put it out there even if Trump doesn't want to put it out there?
Yeah, I believe so.
That's crazy for Mike. Mike must have had some drunk some energy drink this morning.
You know what it is? He still has a baby conscience, and he knows that this is like, he at least has to show that he's against it. I don't think that he knows he can't show it himself, so he's doing mouth service, you know.
Yeah, he's supposed to be a Christian, so he has to at least give it lip service.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, sir, there's no there, according to Trump and the administration. If you recall, on Indisputable, I read the first proclamation from the Department of Justice. And they said things like, there's no credible evidence. And remember, I brought attention to the word credible. I said, for some reason, they have people who are weighing the credibility of the evidence, which, by the way, should be up to the judiciary to do so, and not the Department of Justice. I brought that to your attention. That is a wiggle word that they utilize, no credible evidence, meaning they question the credibility of the messenger or the credibility of the evidence they do have, meaning they do have evidence. The second dynamic I brought your attention to was the fact that they said that it wasn't used, or they don't have evidence that it was used to blackmail prominent individuals. Prominent, once again. What if it was used to blackmail individuals who had been victims? What if it was utilized to blackmail individuals who are minors or their families? You see, to them, those may not be prominent individuals, but nonetheless still illegal. And in my book, they are as prominent as they come. All right, Jackson, thoughts here.
I mean, the stupidity of this man just never ceases to leave me in awe. Like, Jeffrey Epstein was never a big factor in life. Like, he has nothing to say. Like, what does that even mean?
Right.
On top, we don't even need to get into who Jeffrey Epstein was and what he did, because we all know. But Donald Trump is just completely over his head with absolutely everything. And this particular issue seems to be what's really causing him the most trouble. Despite the fact that he's broken all of his campaign promises, he's stirring up the world, messing up our relationships with foreign countries. The big, beautiful bill that he just passed is going to destroy millions of people's lives. I saw he did an interview with his daughter-in-law, Laura Trump, and she asked him about the big, beautiful bill. And it, like, he just signed it last week, and he was like, oh, people are already seeing savings. We're already seeing investment and manufacturing into the country like never before. Like, bro, you signed it a week ago. Like, he doesn't know anything. He doesn't know anything. And, on the one hand, it's easy to say that he gets away with everything and that he got away with all these felonies. But what has he really gotten away with at the end of the day? Because now everything bad that happens while he's in office is going to be blamed on him, largely because it's because of him. It's his fault. And I guess it's going to take this particular issue to wake up some of his base, at least. We're seeing videos of people burning their MAGA hats and and stuff like that. But I don't really know how he's going to hold it together going forward. People aren't going to stop talking about it. And the more that he begs everyone to shut up, the more people are Googling it. The more people are being reminded of it. Like Jeffrey Epstein, nobody cares about Jeffrey Epstein. Like, nah, bro, people do. But yeah, it's just, this man is just a timeless buffoon. He is the most ridiculous human being I've ever seen. And studying people is what I do.
Yeah. And, the question is, Trump, were you being blackmailed by the
Putin
Epstein?
Oh, okay. I get what he said. He's basically saying like one reason why he might not be trying to expose anybody is because that might be what the Russians got on him or something.
Yes. The P tape is real.
Yeah.
The P tape that Russia supposedly has on Trump or something is a piece of evidence or some reputational information that he doesn't want to come out to affect his reputation. And that is what Putin has on him. And so that's why he's allowing Putin to do the summer attack instead of stopping him this week with some attacks on Moscow like he should do.
All right. So this is somebody prominent, Joe Rogan, talking about it, and even he has jokes.
This morning, President Trump facing unprecedented criticism from some of his biggest supporters.
This has been the first fracture in MAGA
over the Justice Department's handling of files related to convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. For days, many on the right have been criticizing Attorney General Pam Bondi's decision not to release the files, but now high-profile figures, including House Speaker Mike Johnson, weighing in.
It's a very delicate subject, but we should put everything out there and let the people decide it.
And podcaster Joe Rogan, an influential Trump ally in the last election, mocking the administration's response.
Like, look, where's the Epstein files? Boo, can't find them. Don't exist. Like, they can get away with man.
Oh, yeah. Bondi has said there are Epstein files, but concluded Epstein did not leave behind an incriminating client list and that he died by suicide in 2019 while awaiting trial, contradicting right-wing conspiracy theories that he was murdered. Rogan criticizing Bondi and FBI Director Kash Patel.
Kash Patel said there's nothing you're looking for. Oh, okay.
For his part, President Trump dismissing the interest.
He's dead for a long time. He was never a big factor in terms of life. I don't understand what the interest or what the fascination is.
And after his daughter-in-law said there needs to be more transparency, I asked the president about her comment.
Do you agree with her, sir? The Attorney General's handled that very well.
He has stood by Bondi's judgment.
Whatever she thinks is credible, she should release.
Trump, like many celebrities, was seen with Epstein in the 90s, but later said they had a falling out, and by the time Epstein was arrested, that he had not spoken to him in 15 years. Asked about Bondi's review.
Did she tell you at all that your name appeared in the file?
No. She's given us just a very quick briefing, and in terms of the credibility of the different things that they've seen.
The Attorney General yesterday deflecting questions about the controversy, but asked about those calling for change at the Justice Department.
I'm going to be here for as long as the president wants me here.
House Speaker Mike Johnson also signaled he'd support having Epstein accomplice Ghislaine Maxwell testify before Congress, saying he's for transparency. Maxwell is serving 20 years in prison for conspiring with Epstein. Her family is now speaking out, arguing she did not receive a fair trial and hoping the Supreme Court will hear her appeal. Savannah?
Gabe Gutierrez leading us off from the White House. Thank you.
All right. I'm going to skip ahead a few. Go ahead. What you say?
I'm surprised that it's taken this long for the Epstein thing to become a factor in this administration. With these guys from not Joe Rogan, but Patel and the assistant director of the FBI and all of these big MAGA people that have been talking about it for so long and so loud, it can't be ignored. This is something that is not a hoax. This is real information that anybody tries to say it's a hoax, They're just trying to take real information and make it a joke. Speaking of jokes.
Yeah. Okay. So I know I've skipped ahead a few just because we are going to conclude in a bit. Let's go ahead and watch a few more and I'm trying to get the shorter ones in so that we can get opinions on different opinions, not just one.
Tonight, President Trump lashing out at his own supporters amid the ongoing Republican outcry over his administration's decision not to release Justice Department files related to convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein.
I lost a lot of faith in certain people. Yeah, I lost because they got duped by the Democrats.
The president dismissing the interest by some in the MAGA world in Epstein as a Democratic distraction and chastising those supporters as, quote, weaklings.
It's all been a big hoax. It's perpetrated by the Democrats, and some stupid Republicans and foolish Republicans fall into the net, and so they try and do the Democrats' work. They're wasting their time with a guy who obviously had some very serious problems, who died 3-4 years ago. I'd rather talk about the success we have with the economy, the best we've ever had, and all of the things we've done, including in the Middle East.
But the demands for public disclosure of Epstein-related evidence originated with some of the president's most outspoken supporters, some now serving in his administration, like FBI Director Kash Patel 2 years ago.
Put on your big boy pants and let us know who the pedophiles are.
This from the president's son.
How is it that my father can be convicted of 34 crimes, but no one on Epstein's list has even been brought to light?
And this was the president during the campaign.
Would you declassify the Epstein files?
Yeah, I would.
All right.
I guess I would. I think that less so because, you don't know. You don't want to affect people's lives if it's phony stuff in there because there's a lot of phony stuff with that whole world. But I think I would.
But last week, the Justice Department and FBI released a memo saying they had found no incriminating client list of Epstein's and no credible evidence Epstein blackmailed prominent individuals, and that they would make no further disclosure. Tonight, multiple federal law enforcement officials tell NBC News that memo accurately describes the findings of law enforcement in the Epstein investigation. The president saying it's up to Attorney General Pam Bondi whether to release the material.
If she finds any more credible information, she'll give that too. What more can she do than that? I mean, honestly, what more can she do? And we do have bigger problems.
We pressed him late today.
Your Attorney General wasn't here, your FBI leadership. Do you still have confidence in that team, sir?
Totally. Now, some top Republicans are downplaying any GOP divide.
I have confidence in the president and his team.
But after an array of outspoken Trump allies demanded the files be made public.
So these are the people who are calling for the files. Let's go ahead and save this image. Because we got Megyn Kelly, Laura Loomer. Ooh, that's a strong one. Your boy, Republican Mike Johnson, Marjorie Taylor Greene. That's one that she'll go for everything. Jeff Van Drew, Republican Chip Roy, Senator Mike Lee, Charlie Kirk. That's a strong one too. Michael Flynn, Benny Johnson, and of course Chuck Carlson and Steve Bannon. Those are all people that are calling for the information. All right.
Bannon is the most important one.
Yeah.
Public. Tonight, there are more calls for the government information to be released.
The Epstein files need to be released.
I would say make it all public.
Garrett, President Trump also making another major headline tonight, saying it's unlikely he'll fire Fed Chair Jerome Powell, despite his frequent criticism of him.
Tom, the president has made his anger with Powell well known, but said today it's still highly unlikely he'll fire him. Late today, a top advisor said the White House counsel hasn't even determined yet if the president has the legal authority to do so. The president blames Powell for the Fed's refusal to lower interest rates, which Trump says would help homebuyers. Tom?
All right, Garrett Haig first. Garrett, we thank you. We thank you for watching. And remember, stay updated.
Ever wondered what your home looks like from?
Yeah, so all I'm saying when it comes down to it, even it seems like trouble in paradise. That's what it looks like.
It's an issue that splits them down the middle, supposedly, but a lot of issues have been there that should have split the Republican Party, but because they don't have very many people that stand up on their really issues, they don't have backbone. They change with the wind, so a lot of issues don't split them. But this is one that will, if the Republicans who are Christians stand up and do something about it.
All right. So this is going to be a couple quick ones, and this is Kash Patel on the list. I guess Tim Dillon is talking about it.
Kash Patel talking about why they can't put the Epstein stuff out because it will re-victimize the women.
We're not going to re-victimize women.
What?
We're not going to put that shit back out there. It's not happening because then he wins. Not doing it.
Hold on. Stop that for a minute. It's the craziest thing I've ever heard. Why wouldn't you just blur the victim?
If there was a video of some guy or gal committing felonies,
but there is,
and I'm in charge, don't you think you'd see it?
Yes, but that's why everyone's confused. Pam Bondi said there were videos. She's the attorney general. She goes, there's hundreds of hours of video. That's a quote from Pam. Get the Pam Bondi quote up, but the videos. There are tens of thousands of videos of Epstein with children or child porn, and there are hundreds of victims. So that's Pam Bondi. Now let's go to Kash Patel, who goes, so if there were things, let's go. Kash Patel, everyone.
If there was a video, don't you think you'd see it?
If you have access to it.
If I have it, period.
Right.
If I have it.
You got it?
Where
it is? Where is it?
Where else would it be?
Where is it?
If you have it.
Right.
Right.
But you can't say that you have
This is who's on first. Get up the famous joke, who's on first.
The fella playing first base for St. Louis. Who? The guy on first base.
Who is on first?
Well, what are you asking me for?
I'm not asking you, I'm telling you, who is on first?
I'm asking you who's on first.
Now
That's the
stop
man.
that. Now go back to Patel.
Where else would it be?
Right. If you have it.
Right.
But you can't say that you have it.
No, we're giving you everything we have.
So far.
Who's on first?
Everything.
What are you asking me for?
All right, what's going on?
They have all the evidence collected from the Epstein case because he had the island. He had all the people's names. He has all the videos of them going into rooms and doing things they shouldn't have done in massages and other things. The FBI, the government has this, but it doesn't make any sense that they can't show who the criminals are without not showing the victims. This is a fraud.
Yeah, I agree with you. All right.
I appreciate your question, but this today is about fentanyl overdoses throughout our country and people who have lost loved ones to fentanyl. That's the message that we're here to send today. Nothing about Epstein. I'm not going to talk about Epstein. Go ahead. I'm going to be here for as long as the president wants me here, and I believe he's made that crystal clear. It's 4 years, well, 3.5 now, right? We've got 6 months in, and it feels like 6 years. But I was with Director Patel this morning, and we are working on fighting violent crime. We are working on all these issues that we deeply care about to make America safe again and get these drugs off our streets.
Respond to the MAGA base that has expressed a lot of frustration about it.
We're going to fight to keep America safe again, and we're fighting together as a team. That's what's so important right now. We've got a war on drugs. We've got a war on human trafficking. We've got cartels in this country, and we are going to do. We've got foreign adversaries around this world as well, and we're all going to work together as a team to fight to keep America safe again. And I can tell you that's what we're all committed to.
Well, I tell you this, that was like a strong deflect. This is going to be this is going to be the last video we're going to see. In fact, I got one more after this is 9 seconds because I have to spotlight Dave Ramsey. And because I have to spotlight him, the reason I'm have to spotlight him is because he made a statement that really sickened me the other day, where he said people should not look for the White House to fix their house. They need to fix their own house, which would be true if the White House was not taking money from your house. So I'm at least show that him and President Trump are chummy. That's going to be a 9 second, but this one that's going to be coming up is going to be about Donald Trump and his relationship with Epstein. Is going to be the last one about him. Oh man. Yeah, that was just him being chummy. They looked like they were real close friends.
When you hang out, you got to be close.
All right, and this right here again, this is me showing you how Dave Ramsey is compromised. Dave Ramsey is compromised, and if you've seen his talk about the big beautiful bill, you understand why I'm showing this.
And I've watched him for my whole life. This should be the easiest interview because I've learned from him.
All right. That concludes all the videos. One of the reasons, again, if you do yourself a favor and understand the reason why people are saying what they say and absorb information on your own, I feel like you have clarity of mind and knowing who's really with you and for you. Dave Ramsey is not for the poor person. He's not for the middle class. He's not even for the upper middle class. He is for millionaires. So whatever Dave Ramsey says, throw that stuff out the window and throw it in the trash. This man is trash to people that are not super rich. Do not listen to Dave Ramsey in the big beautiful bill stating that it's not that big of a deal. It is a huge deal. When you misuse information and only talk about certain things, he did not talk about the student loans. He said we're not going to do student loans, and he just kept on moving. And anybody who comes from poverty or up to middle class, you're gonna have to get a student loan to finish to pay for college. It's no questions, ifs, ands, or buts. But when you have these glorified people that are like Nelly, and I love Snoop Dogg, but at the same time, people like Snoop Dogg that are endorsing him. The KKK endorses him. It's a bunch of people that are endorsing Trump that, for whatever reason, are doing it. You should not endorse him. If you endorse him, you're endorsing a KKK person. KKK endorsed him in 2016, 2020, and 2024, and they stated the reason why we side with him is because he has a lot of our same mentality. That is the reason why they endorsed him. And if you voted for him, you voted with the KKK. You have to live with that, and you have to. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. Be woman or man enough to own your mistakes so it does not happen, so you don't look like that Texas woman who lost, quote unquote, talk about alligator Alcatraz and people are on welfare, and then all of a sudden the flood hits you, and then you wonder where FEMA went. FEMA went when your president said we're going to cut out those government services. And then you over here mad and crying like, oh, we're human. We might not be San Antonio. But y'all basically gutted FEMA. In a state, like, there's no reason for a state like Texas to have like as much flood protection as Florida. So there's resources that Florida can help bring. And right now, what's happening, it is a dividing of the states and trying to put everything on the states and not on a national level, which is basically saying we're the White House. We want your money, but we don't want to help you out, and we don't want to give you no kind of helpers or anything of that nature. Anybody else got something to say before we cut? Anybody got anything else to say before we cut?
I believe that this issue should be a defining issue for this presidency, and unless there's something that's going to blow this out the water in the next month or so, this is the biggest thing that they've had. I mean, if the war comes back from Iran, the war he starts with Iran, or the fact that he's killing everybody in Gaza, the fact that he's trying to trying to do things with Putin, everything that he's doing is criminal, and this criminal presidency is marked with this Epstein, this pedophile reputation that's smeared all over some of the people that are in the administration. And if they don't get rid of it, this will be a pedophile administration that go down as the worst pedophile administration in the history of the United States.
It's sad that you even can say that and say the White House or it's sad that that's what we're representing. It's like we're like the clowns of the world right now because we allowed someone to play in our face so deliberately, and this is a horrible liar. It's horrible. You're not even good at lying. At least look, people say that Biden and Obama used to lie to us. Well, at least they were good and made us feel good about it. This right here is just one of those things where they just take and we don't see. And the reason why I say that is because all the MAGA people always say how Biden and Obama lied and did this and that. Maybe they did do it on me and I didn't realize how bad they were doing. But then when I see the fruits of what they give and the fact that I know that, again, Trump rescinded a lot of Biden's executive orders.
And
Obama's. And because of that, we don't have a true say on Biden's real legacy. Biden's legacy has been salted on. And because it's been salted on, you're going to hear people from both sides talk bad about Biden, not realizing the truth. And it is us who believe in showing the truth and letting people know the truth to constantly spotlight the fact that Trump has salted Biden's legacy, and Biden has done a great, phenomenal job as president. And then, as a lot of old people do, he did go a little crazy. But you know, I still love him.
Come on now. Come
all
on
right.
now.
Let's go ahead and move on.
Adios.
All right.
Adios.
All right. This is again been For Democracy. We live for democracy and we will die for democracy. Have a great day.
Thank you.